So on YouTube, as y'all see, the title is "How to Leave the United States." Guys, for those of y'all who know me, my name is Stephen Story. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm currently in Salvador Bahia, Brazil. I left the United States in 2018. All right, so I left several years ago. I've been here in Brazil now 4 years. So the main thing I wanted to talk about was how you leave the United States, how you get out of the States, how to live in another country, right? So I lived in two countries outside the States. I lived in Canada. I live in Brazil now, obviously, like I'm talking to y'all about. And also, guys, just so y'all know, I speak two languages. So I will be going back and forth between English and Portuguese. E aí, galera, boa noite. Eu estou falando sobre como você pode sair os Estados Unidos. Eu já morou lá em Canadá e também aqui em Brasil, né? Eu estou aqui morando aqui 4 anos aqui em Salvador, Bahia. E aí, Besouro, como você tá? Enfim, na verdade, normalmente eu não falo muito sobre minha vida em português, né? Então, eu acho hoje noite noite bom para falar sobre essa viagem. Não é viagem de verdade, mas essa experiência em minha vida, né? Então, eu quero explicar para os americanos e outros gringos que saem Europa, ou Austrália, ou Canadá, ou Estados Unidos. So yeah, guys. So I want to just explain to y'all, a bit about how I do these things. Brian, what's up? Pierre, what's up? Davis, long time no see, bro. So first things first, guys. I left the United States for a job. Okay, so I didn't leave the United States because I was fed up with the United States. Like, oh man, I hate this. No, I really enjoyed the United States. But I left, had a great job offer. And so I got out, I moved to Canada. I moved to Calgary, Canada. And so the first 6 months out of the States, I was trying to figure out how to pay my bills online. I was figuring out how to deal with mail and taxes and all those things. And I'm not going to get into all that tonight, but I do want y'all to know that it is doable with a little help, right, from friends and family, right? So I had to learn how, like, for example, you can't mail certain things from the United States to Canada, or from Canada to the United States, or from the United States to Brazil, and it'd be the same price, right? For example, one day I locked my key in my car and I needed an extra key, and the extra key was in the United States, and they sent it to me, right? And so I thought it was going to be like, $20 or something like that. It wound up being $100 because there's a tariff. There's a tax you got to pay to send electronics from the United States to Canada, or vice versa, right? It's small things like that you learn while you're on the road, living outside the States, right? And so those are one of the things that really stuck out to me, right? For those of y'all joining, guys, we're talking about my life outside the United States. I've been living out of the United States since 2018. I have not lived full-time in the States since May 2018. We're in 2023 now, so it's been a while for me. So, guys, if y'all got questions, comments, concerns, if y'all on YouTube or if you're on Instagram, just let me know, and I'll be free to answer any questions y'all got about living outside the States, getting your visas, anything like that. So first visa I got, guys, I got a Canadian work visa. Okay. They do a background check on you. You got to show your high school diploma, any college transcripts. You got to do all those types of things. Scooby, aí, como você tá? Boa noite. You got to show all those types of things, guys, so you can get a visa, right? And then once you get to the border, it's a long process. But the main thing is, if you want to get a Canadian visa, you got to get sponsored by a Canadian company. Just because you're an American doesn't mean that you can work in Canada. All right. So for my Brazilian visas, I had a tourist visa for some time. And then after that, there was a digital nomad visa that became available in 2022, in February 2022. Boa noite, boa noite, boa noite. And so, Manu, aí, boa noite. And so when I got my digital nomad visa, it wasn't a long process, but it was a 6-week process, and it cost about $150 US. to to get my nomad visa. You got to show bank accounts for the last 3 months. You need to show that you make at least $1,500 US per month. You got to have a CPF. If you don't have that, you need to be able to get that. What else? You have to do a federal background check with fingerprints. Okay, you can do that at a police station in the United States. I don't know how to get it done in Brazil. But what I felt like the pros were for the digital nomad visa as compared to the student visa was that it was cheaper for one, and I didn't have to keep paying for school each semester, right? I didn't have to go to class. I don't want to go back to class. I don't want to study. So the digital nomad visa was perfect for me. Also, I'm a business owner. So again, the nomad visa worked well for me. You do have to get those things notarized. You got to show an LLC. You got to have a letter showing that you can work remotely as well. So it's a lot of documents that go in with that. But once you get it all taken care of, guys, it's pretty chill as far as your Brazilian digital nomad visa. But I would say after that, getting an apartment here is not a small feat as an American. If you're looking to live in Brazil, okay, this is the second apartment I've rented. I don't own an apartment, but I'm renting. And so here in Brazil, you need a cosigner. They call them a fiador in Portuguese. You need a fiador to rent a place, all right? And so that can be a bit of a difficult thing to do. I never got a fiador because I just put down a large amount of money on my apartments. And so the landlord just worked with me on that one. But I do see that a lot of expats or potential expats, they're always, renting Airbnbs, and it's just Airbnbs are so expensive here compared to renting. So if you plan on leaving the United States, whether it's Brazil, whether it's Canada, wherever it is, you want to be able to get that living situation taken care of because it can get quite expensive. Okay. I am in Brazil long term. I've already been here 4 years. That's long term, and this is the thing, guys. I speak Portuguese. Once you speak Portuguese, once you've broken the language barrier in whatever your target country is, right? Once you've broken the language barrier, everything gets much easier, right? Licença, gente, eu vou explicar rapidinho, porque eu sei vocês assistindo e vocês não falam inglês. Então, eu estou explicando o processo para morar aqui em Brasil, burocracia, coisas tipo sobre os documentos, o que você precisa fazer na Polícia Federal, várias coisas assim. Não é chato, mas não é tipo muito, muito fácil também. Eu acho é muito mais difícil para os brasileiros entrar nos Estados Unidos, entendeu? Vocês precisam dar seu braço, sua perna para entrar nos Estados Unidos, mas para entrar no Brasil é tipo coisa, né? Não é tão fácil, mas não é muito difícil, mesmo jeito, né? But I think, as you leave the United States, one big thing I would tell everybody, for those who are interested in leaving the United States, you need to be focused on a couple of things. You got to have a stable source of income that's not based in the country you're going to be living in. All right. So if you think you're going to go speak English or teach English in another country and just live there, no. You need to be making American dollars from the United States, right? So this is not something I would just say like, leave the United States and don't have a job. You need to have a strong source of income, guys, because life gets hard when you don't have income. I don't care how weak the currency is, things can be very difficult for you. Para os americanos que vêm para o Brasil ou qualquer país fora dos Estados Unidos, eles precisam de um emprego, porque sem emprego, sem dinheiro aqui em Brasil é foda. Sua vida vai ficar muito mais difícil, né? Especialmente para os americanos, porque nós não temos um sistema aqui para ajudar, para apoio a gente aqui, os estrangeiros, né? Nós temos um sistema lá nos Estados Unidos, mas aqui não, né? Então, essa é uma dificuldade. E também eu já conheço vários americanos fazendo isso. I already know a lot of Americans that live here or have lived here and they don't have a job, right? And so life gets way harder. All right. So guys, you got to take care of your money. All right. Get your money in order before you leave the United States. no matter what country you're trying to go to, guys, if you're going to leave the United States, you got to get your money right. Okay? And guys, if y'all got questions on YouTube, if you got questions on Instagram, just write it below. Se vocês têm perguntas em português, os brasileiros, se vocês têm perguntas, você pode você pode escrever e vou dar uma resposta, né? So, as y'all notice, guys, I'm speaking 2 languages. So, whatever country you're planning on going to, whether it's Brazil, whether it's a French-speaking country, a Spanish-speaking country, wherever it is, if they don't speak English, guys, you gotta take the time to learn the language. Okay, you gotta take the time to learn the language. Why? The country just opens up to you when you can speak fluently in their language, right? Do not be naive to think that it's going to be okay if you just speak in English. Yo, my dude, what's up, man? It is not going to be okay if you just speak English in a country that doesn't speak English as their first language, all right? Bill, yes, things are going to get hard for you, all right? It's okay to go for a weekend or a week or 2 and you don't speak the language, guys. If you plan on spending anything over, you plan on spending anything more than a month in these countries, you need to pick up the language, because with the language you get to build relationships with people. You get to build friendships. Quando você vem para qualquer lugar no mundo, quem não fala sua língua, esses brasileiros também, você precisa estudar essa língua. E francês, árabe, chinês, qualquer língua, você precisa estudar. Se você quer passar um tempo lá, mais de 2 semanas, você precisa estudar, porque você precisa construir relacionamentos, amizades, conexões, entendeu? And so, you gotta be focused on language, guys. Duolingo is not enough, by the way, which brings us to my next point. Duolingo is not going to get you fluent, all right? Duolingo is not going to get you to be able to talk to people. You need to be using YouTube. You need to be using Netflix. You need to be using music, podcasts. You need to be listening to things in your target language as much as possible, okay? Before talking, you need to be able to understand in these target languages, right? It makes everything much easier for you, okay? Because, excuse me, y'all. Because when you understand a bit, you're like, oh, okay, it said this. All right, let me go over here. Let me do this, like they said, right? So it just makes things much easier for you. But I recommend watching Netflix, listening to music, podcasts, all those things to get your ear trained to hear a second language. I don't talk about finances, guys, but next thing I'm talking about is debt, okay? So we talked about finances, getting your job. Talked about a little bit about the process of getting visas, work visas or nomad visas. The next thing is debt, guys. So you want to take down as many bills as possible before you leave the United States. You don't want to have to spend money in another country and spend money on your bills at home in the United States. What's what I'm looking for? You basically want to get your bills in the United States to 0. So that means if you plan on leaving, you need to be getting rid of that car payment. You need to get rid of credit card payments. You need to be getting rid of a mortgage or rent or anything like that, car insurance, all that kind of stuff. Any of your recurring bills you have in the States, you need to get that down to a minimum, okay? Because all the money you're making, all the money you have saved, whatever it is, if you're in retirement, anything like that, all that money needs to be going into your lifestyle, okay? Which brings me to my next point, guys, lifestyle, okay? You've left the United States, now what? All right, what do we plan on doing now we've left the United States? All right, what do we plan on getting done? All right, do I want to get into sports? Do I want to get into culture, art, dance, religion? Why am I leaving? And then once I get to this country, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? All right, so that's something that I think a lot of people, they don't ask themselves those kind of questions. And because they don't ask themselves those kind of questions, they get to these countries and they kind of do the same thing they were doing back in the States. And that's not really a fulfilling life, right? So when you're looking at like, hey, I'm about to leave the States, you need to create a new life, all right? You need to create a completely new life, a new lifestyle, right? And it has to be centered around making friends and making connections, guys. You know, in the States, we might not always be so friendly, but when you leave, you ain't got no friends now. And you can't just hang with the expat community. I think hanging with the expat community is super lame and it's lazy. All right. You can really stretch yourself by making friends with people who are the locals of of that country. Um, so Fred said, I want to get in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and language school. Okay, cool. All right, so Nayara, she said, o que te impactou mais na cultura brasileira? Eu acho que me impactou mais foi o amizades. Eu acho a amizade aqui e pessoas simpáticas uma coisa muito importante. Eu sou simpático, mas às vezes eu acho lá nos Estados Unidos a gente é muito mais frio sobre amizade, sobre relacionamento, sobre conexões. Nós temos uma cultura bem individualística. Tipo, eu sou mais importante na vida. Meu trabalho, meu carro, meu salário, minha família, Deus. Nossa cultura é assim, entendeu? Então, eu acho o que foi mais impacto para mim, especialmente quando eu cheguei aqui em Brasil, foi a amizade, o jeito que todo mundo me abraça, tipo, vem cá, nós temos churrasco. Todo mundo foi sempre me convidar para vários lugares. Nós não faz isso lá. Nós não fazemos isso lá nos Estados Unidos, infelizmente. Então, essa me dá muita vontade para morar aqui em Brasil. Esse foi maior parte da minha decisão para morar aqui, né? Porque quando eu cheguei aqui, não foi morar, foi aqui para algumas semanas, mas minhas conexões cresceu rápido aqui, por causa da amizade, por causa um carinho os brasileiros faz para os outros, né? E também vocês realmente pensam sobre seus amigos. A gente não faz isso. Às vezes, meu melhor amigo, a gente fala todos os dias, mas às vezes, licença, às vezes eu acho, se eu tenho um amigo, ou eu conheço uma nova pessoa, esse cara foi muito bacana, ela foi muito bacana, eu nunca chamo ela de novo, nunca chamo ele de novo, entendeu? Sorry guys, let me say this again in English. So I was asked, what was the thing that impacted me the most about Brazil? And I was saying that the thing that impacted me the most about Brazil, as far as what made me want to live here, was the friendships, right? I'm a friendly guy, I think, right? And that is not something that we place a high value on as Americans. You know, we can meet somebody today and be like, yo, this is a cool person. She's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. She's a cool girl. And we never call them again. We'll make up some fake plan to hang out with them, or, hey, let's do lunch one day. All right, cool. And we just never follow up. Brazilians follow up. All right. If they say they want you to come to a party with them, they really mean it. If they say, hey, come by my mama cooking, they really mean it. And they looking for you. They expect you to come, right? And so for me, that was something that was really special, and it made me feel special. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've traveled a lot. I lived like in 15 cities in the United States, and I lived in Canada and all that. And then I get here and I got language barrier and all that, and people are checking on me as much or more than people I grew up with, people that know me and went to college with me. And so, it made me feel special. And why wouldn't you want to? Why wouldn't you want to deal with that? Why wouldn't you want to hang out with those kind of people that see you in that light every day? Brazilians are very open. They are very open and very friendly. And they don't stop doing that. They continue to be that way. And I think it's really like, because I lived here for so long, like, it's actually a natural way to do things. We're not doing it the right way as Americans. Eu acho o carinho, foi explicando, esse carinho do brasileiro, essa é uma coisa normal. Nosso jeito lá é uma coisa estranha. Esse não é normal. Eu acho aqui é mais orgânico os relacionamentos. Parece, né? Parece mais orgânico aqui, mas lá nos Estados Unidos não é assim, infelizmente, porque a gente só pensando sobre nossos objetivos, nosso trabalho, o que a gente quer comprar, o que a gente quer comer, coisa assim, you know? Guys, I got questions about any stuff I'm talking about, guys. I got a lot of experience living outside the United States. I got a ton of experience living outside the United States, guys. You got questions, let me know. And I will definitely answer. All right? Se você tem perguntas, eu vou dar uma resposta, ok? Em inglês ou em português, viu? Yeah, so if y'all on YouTube, y'all got questions, guys, feel free to leave a comment. I'm here to answer whatever questions questions and answers. Oh, I'm sorry, questions and comments y'all have about being an expat. Okay, moving out of the country for an extended amount of time. Right. So I've done that. Like I said, for y'all just joining, I left the United States in 2018. It's 2023 now. So I am going on 5 years. May will be 5 years since I left the United States, and it just went by super fast. Like I remember like it was yesterday. I got the call. I left the United States for work, and then like I never knew I was going to live in Brazil. I never had an idea that I would leave the United States and then like go to Canada for one, and then be like, "Yo, I live in Brazil now." That's crazy. Davis, e aí? Boa noite, irmão. Beleza? Estou explicando meu processo para morar aqui no Brasil. Né? Não é fácil, mas não é tão difícil. Qualquer pessoa pode fazer isso se ele fica focado e dedicado e correr atrás desse objetivo. Eu acho, a primeira coisa é financeiro. Você precisa de um emprego, se você quer sair do seu país. Né? E também você precisa diminuir suas contas em seus países. Né? Todo o seu dinheiro que você ganhar, você precisa gastar onde você dormir, onde você mora. É muito difícil para pegar uma conta para luz aqui e uma conta para luz lá nos Estados Unidos. Ou o contrário, Brasil e lá. Entendeu? Então, também, seus documentos precisam ficar certinho, na verdade. Porque o polícia, quem trabalha lá na fronteira, ele não é brincadeira, não. Né? Qualquer um fronteira. Brasil, Estados Unidos, Marrocos, França, Espanha, Portugal, eles não é brincadeira. Então, você realmente precisa organizar seus documentos para sair dos seus países. Né? Se alguém tem perguntas, escreve embaixo, eu vou dar uma resposta, tá? Enfim, I messed it up. Oops. I hope I didn't mess anything up. I hope y'all can hear me and all that. But anyway, yeah, guys, it's been a ball. I will tell you that. I think it's kind of interesting seeing the United States from like the outside looking in, because like sometimes it looks like when I'm looking at the news, I'm like, shit, man, like America's changed so much. And then other times when I get back home, like, okay, it's exactly the same as it used to be. Às vezes, quando eu assisto meu país, Estados Unidos, na jornal, na internet, na mídia, assim, às vezes eu sinto os Estados Unidos mudar muito. Outras vezes, parece nada mudar esses últimos 5 anos. Mas, na verdade, eu acho surreal. Porque, às vezes, eu saio dos Estados Unidos, voltar um ano, tipo, encontrar um amigo, por exemplo. Encontrar um amigo, tipo, e aí, como você tá? E quando a última vez eu vi dele, ele foi solteiro. A próxima vez eu vi dele, ele tem filho, e também ele já tem a esposa. Então, a vida passa rápido às vezes. Então, isso é uma coisa interessante sobre esse perspectivo, né? Morando em um país e ainda tem conexões em outro país. Uma outra coisa eu acho sobre essa experiência sobre morando em outro país o mundo é pequeno, na verdade, porque às vezes conhece pessoas aqui, eles conhecem um amigo lá nos Estados Unidos, ou um amigo lá na Espanha, ou Marrocos, ou em Portugal, qualquer lugar no mundo, né? Então, eu acho interessante. So, guys, tomorrow here in Salvador, we have Bonfim. Bonfim is a festival. I don't really know that much about it, to be real with you. I'm about to learn about it tomorrow. It starts at 9 o'clock. And people walk from Comercio to Bonfim. So it's like a It's like a 3 mile walk, something like that, and it's pretty cool. So I'll be there tomorrow. I'm all white, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I can't wait to experience it for the first time. It's the first time we've had it since 2019 because of the pandemic. The pandemic kind of stopped all the big gatherings here in Brazil, right? But look, guys, y'all got no comments or questions. I'm going to end now because my voice is a little tired. It's getting a little late, but I just wanted to share that with y'all real quick. Gente, eu vou descansar. Agora eu quero dormir porque amanhã é bom fim, né? Eu não quero gastar minha energia falando com vocês, porque eu preciso andar amanhã. E quem não sabe sobre o bom fim, é uma coisa. Um dia importante aqui em Bahia, eu não sei muito sobre bom fim, mas eu vou aprender amanhã, né? Mas se você lá na rua amanhã, me dá um oi. Dá um oi para você também. Gente, eu vou dormir. Guys, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm tired. It's 11 o'clock at night. Now, I hope y'all got something from this. I hope it was informational. I know I didn't go into super detail or anything, but y'all ain't ask no questions, so I'm not about to give y'all a bunch of detail. Y'all ask me no questions. Anyway, guys, boa noite. Eu vou com minha câmera, né? Eu vai filmar as rodas de capoeira. Eu não vou aí dentro, viu? Não vou jogar nenhum roda sozinho, mas eu vou gravar vários vídeos lá, né? Mas, enfim, alright, guys, I'm going to sleep. Good night. Ok. Senhor do Bonfim é uma representação de Jesus Cristo que é alvo de intensa devoção no Catholicism. Yeah. All right, so Senhor do Bonfim is a representation of Jesus Christ. And it shows basically an intense devotion for Catholicism. So it's a Catholic holiday. Didn't know that. Thanks, Leandro. Yeah, so that is Bonfim. Now I know. I didn't know. Now I know too. Guys, I'm going to sleep. Gente, boa noite. Muito obrigado por assistindo esse live, esse ao vivo. E eu quero fazer mais em português, na verdade, porque normalmente, claro, eu não falo português na internet. Então eu vou começar gravando mais vídeos assim, postando mais coisas em português para vocês. E eu espero vocês gostar desses vídeos, tá? Então